in the wild heart of Arizona, between red canyons and merciless skies. One name resounded like a cry of defiance: Geronimo. He was not a chief, he was not a king. He was something more, an indomitable soul, a warrior of the Chiricahua Apache people, guided by the spirits. His name became the symbol of indigenous resistance against American and Mexican expansion. Geronimo led a handful of warriors, resisting entire armies. He knew the land, he disappeared into rocky gorges, he reappeared where no one expected him. His escapes and battles made him a legend, a man who defied the impossible. During the Spanish colonial period, 1600 to 1821, the Apache frequently fought against them, even forming strategic alliances in exchange for supplies and temporary peace. In 1821, with Mexico's independence from Spain, Apache attacks on ranches and villages in northern Mexico became increasingly frequent. In response, Mexico offered bounties for every Apache scalp, fueling a spiral of inhumane violence that also affected women and children. In the mid-19th century, American expansion, driven by the ideology of manifest destiny, transformed Geronimo and his people into internal problems for the United States. Geronimo was born in June 1829 near the Gila River, in what is now southeastern Arizona, then part of Mexico. His Apache name was Goyakla, meaning he who yawns. He belonged to the Badonko tribe, one of the Chiricahua Apache bands, known for their nomadic lifestyle, knowledge of the mountain and desert terrain, and skill in guerrilla warfare. From a young age, Geronimo was raised in the strict warrior traditions of the Apache. He learned to hunt, survive in hostile environments, and fight. He learned that everything had a purpose and a connection to the spirits. Growing up in a time of high tension between the native tribes, the Mexican settlers, and later the Americans, he soon witnessed and participated in one of the most violent periods in the history of the American Southwest. An undoubtedly courageous and skilled warrior, he became a prominent leader only after the death of the great leaders of previous generations. In 1851, while Geronimo was away on a trading expedition, a Mexican army attack on the village where he lived wiped out his family. His mother, wife, and 3 children were killed in the state of Chihuahua. This tragic event profoundly affected his life and drove him to become a fierce fighter. He later stated that after the massacre, he had nothing left to lose. From that moment, he embarked on a long campaign of revenge against the Mexicans, leading numerous raids and becoming a feared and respected figure among the Apache. He recounted that he went into the desert, fasted, and that a voice from heaven gave him the power to never be hit by enemy bullets. When he returned, he had become Geronimo, a name that Mexican soldiers likely gave him while invoking San Geronimo during his ferocious charges. Geronimo's grief turned into relentless fury. For decades, he led his warriors in a series of battles and raids, becoming a nightmare for settlers and a ghost for the army. Between 1882 and 1886, there were numerous military campaigns to hunt him down, sometimes with the help of allied Apache scouts and new technologies, telegraph lines, railroads, modern weapons. His name became a legend, a symbol of indomitable resistance. After years of relentless pursuit, and with his people exhausted, the war was over. In September 1886, tired and without resources, Geronimo surrendered to General Nelson Miles, with the promise, unfulfilled, that he could return to his homeland. After decades of war, the Apache were deported to reservations. Geronimo was forced to move to San Carlos, Arizona, but he detested life as a prisoner, and escaped several times with small groups of followers. It was finally General Nelson A. Miles who secured the final surrender on September 4, 1886, at Skeleton Canyon. Geronimo surrendered with only 30 warriors, 8 women, and 13 children. The campaign to capture him cost more than any other Indian conflict in American history. After the surrender, Geronimo and his followers were transported to Florida, then to Alabama, and finally to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where he lived the rest of his life as a prisoner of war. In his later years, he was transformed into something of a fairground attraction. He participated in World's Fairs, was taken to the 1904 St. Louis Fair, and even marched in President Theodore Roosevelt's inauguration parade in 1905. He sold autographed photographs and small souvenirs to survive. Despite the media attention, he never stopped asking to return to his homeland, and his pleas were never heeded. Geronimo died on February 17, 1909, at the age of 79, of pneumonia, after falling from his horse and spending a night in the open without help. His last words, according to some accounts, were, "I wish I had never surrendered. Now I wish to die." He was buried at Fort Sill. His indomitable and rebellious spirit became a symbol of Native American resistance to colonial oppression. Today, Geronimo is considered a tragic hero, a fighter who defended his people with determination and intelligence. His proud face, immortalized in numerous photographs, represents an indelible reminder of what Native American peoples have lost, but also of their indomitable dignity. Thanks for following us on The Hidden Drawers of History. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time.